Yo, what's up? Welcome to another episode of Mostly Low Budget Movie Reviews. I am your host, Clarence. And I guess I shouldn't say another episode because most of you guys have no idea who I am. I have a podcast that's the same name, and there's a good 9 or 10 people that listen to it. So I've been kind of threatening to do this for a while. For those 9 or 10 people, this is the face behind that voice. And for the rest of everybody else, hey, I'm here. So I've been wanting to do this. It's a whole COVID pandemic thing. I've been playing around, just having some fun with some things, and I kind of wanted to give this a shot. The name behind it, Mostly Low Budget Movie Reviews. I mean, I pretty much watch anything, so I'll be doing, big budget movies here too, but I do like to watch those smaller films, indie films and things like that, and kind of shed some light on those. There's a lot of diamonds in the rough out there that people just kind of just pass over. And, those big budget ones only come out every so often. So you need stuff to watch in between. So, I figured I'd provide a service and watch this stuff for you. Now, I'm not a professional or anything. What I do is just get to the bottom line. I give you a few critiques and then I tell you, hey, the bottom line of any kind of entertainment, whether it's music or whatever, is did you enjoy it? So that's what I'll do. I'll say my little piece about why I'm rating it, whatever I'm rating it. And yeah, did I enjoy it? Now, another thing before I get started here, I do use the Rotten Scale. There's a lot of reviews there and they kind of compile them for you. So I'll look at the Rotten score. I don't look at anybody else's review before I do mine, but I do take a peek at the overall score for the audience and the professionals, and I will post that, let you know, and I'll stay consistent with that scale. We'll get into more and more as things go on, as things progress, but for today's episode, we're going to get started here, and, I went back to the movies for the first time in like 9 months, so I figured this would be perfect to do this one right now, a movie that just came out this weekend, big budget movie. So, without further ado, let's get into it. In today's episode, I am reviewing Wrath of Man. And this is starring Jason Statham, who really needs no introduction. He's been in a lot of big budget movies. He's teamed up again with Guy Ritchie, who I believe they've done like 4 movies together, but don't quote me on that, of course. No fact checking here. And I haven't seen a movie by him in a while, so I'm kind of looking forward to see what he has to offer. So, what is this one about? Well, we start out with this armored truck heist, which I'm not going to get into at all, of course, spoiler free. And then we jump to the Statham character, whose name is H, and he just got hired at this armored transport company, and he is going through the new hire orientation. And there's some training and things involved, and he has to like pass a test. So it involves like driving, target practice, fitness, that kind of stuff. And he has to pass this test before he can actually get on the road and start the job. So he does the whole meet and greet, meets everybody he's going to be working with and all of that. First day pickup, we get that over with again, teaching him the ropes. Now, I don't know if sure it's the next day or a few days later, but they're out on a job. Guy doesn't report back and finds out they're actually being robbed. So, this isn't a spoiler at all. We all know that he's going to foil the robbery, in impressive fashion. So, of course, his coworkers are looking at him like, well, wait a minute. We don't even know, we saw your test. You weren't that impressive. So they're starting to look at him a little bit different. The feds come question him, and they seem to know who he is. So at this point, it's clear that he's not who he appears to be, and there's something else going on here. Now, he gets a delivery that night of a package about the heist that we saw at the beginning of the movie. It has like the videotape, police reports, autopsies, and that kind of thing. And then we get this time jump, and that's where I'm going to stop. I don't want to spoil any other movie for you. And basically from there, we're going to see him continue to, investigate. We're going to learn what his true motives are and see if he can, figure things out, basically. So, what did the pros think? Well, they came in at a 66% on the Rotten Scale with about 137 reviews. And the audience is coming in strong with 93%, with over 250 verified ratings. Now, what did I think? First, let me start with the positives, as I like to do. And I got to start with Statham. I mean, he does a great job as a tough guy, boss character. And he kind of plays this role straight, you know, which is good because this is a serious movie, serious content. There's nothing funny about this. This was just a straightforward performance, which I enjoyed. Guy Ritchie, loved the screenplay, loved the direction. He's in his bag in this one. Doesn't measure up to some of his other work, nah, but I did like the way he put this one together. And the way it's put together, it kind of reminds me a lot of Quentin Tarantino, who's one of my favorite writer-directors all time. And it reminds me in a way where it's kind of broken up into chapters and they do some time jumping kind of stuff where you know how Quentin likes to tell stories out of order. This is kind of the similar thing. Because you could have just shot it just straightforward. You can watch it straight through. But because of the way they played around the timeline and then add a little bit more information and different angles and perspectives every time, it gives it a different feel. And it was very interesting to watch. You never get bored with what you're seeing up there. Another pleasant surprise was the story. Actually, by the intro I gave you, you probably know, you're thinking exactly what kind of movie it is. And yeah, you're right. It is that, but it's also so much more. It's a revenge movie. It's a heist movie. It's, you know, of course, an action movie. It's a thriller, a little bit of mystery involved. So he kind of mashed up some things together, and I really enjoyed how all that stuff just ties in perfectly. The action here was pretty good. I mean, I liked a lot of the shootouts. It wasn't everything groundbreaking or revolutionary. I mean, we have the John Wick series to thank for that. Now, when I look at action sequences, I look at Wick and I'm like, you know, the way they choreographed that stuff and put it together is just a beautiful ballet. And, you know, everything else is below that standard. But again, not expecting it to measure up to that. So it was pretty good. But that's kind of where I want to start my negatives. Look, I get it. We know our protagonist is not going to die. But there's just a couple of Superman moments in here, I like to call them, that are just ridiculous. I mean, at least in like the Wick series, of course, those, you know, situations are impossible too, but they kind of explain it like, okay, well, the suit's bulletproof and absorbs bullets and he is getting shot. So it doesn't make him as invincible as he appears to be. They do explain some of it away. Here, there were a couple of times where they just, you know, just dumped on him and he, you know, he got shot a million times and, you know, he just shows up in another scene. They don't explain anything, how he got out of that, or how they don't explain anything. So it kind of took away a little bit for me because, I mean, I get it. Of course, he's not going to die, but they got to at least give us something to explain the invincibility factor in this. I alluded to this a little bit earlier in my positives. This isn't, you know, Guy Ritchie's best work. I mean, some of the writing's a little bit off. You know, the dialogue's a little bit clunky. Some of the story elements are, you know, not as clever as they should be. For example, the inside person, and this is spoiler free, H is looking for someone at this armored company, but they point to him like immediately. You immediately know when you see this individual that that's who it is. So I would say, okay, if they're pointing to this guy, there's no way that that's who it is. So when they finally do the reveal of this person, and it was who I thought it was, I was kind of let down because the rest of the movie or a lot of other things in it was so clever. I said, there's no way they're just going to go basic with who, you know, the inside person is. So that was a bit disappointing. But again, I'm kind of nitpicking here. It was just something that stood out to me. I don't want to beat this one up too much. Let me just bottom line this one for you. Did I enjoy it? And yes, I did. I enjoyed this one quite a bit. If I have to stay consistent with the Rotten scale, I would put this one right around at 80%. So I liked it a lot more than the professionals, not quite as much as the general public. And mainly for me, I docked it for the inside person portion of it, which kind of took away from all the originality that the movie had and the way they put it together. I was expecting something a little bit more clever. Like I said, some of the writing, some of the dialogue was a little bit clunky. And yeah, the invincibility factor just kind of took me out of, you know, the intense moment because, you know, he just shows up and he's okay. But other than that, I mean, most of the story, the direction, the way they put everything together, a lot of the camera shots he used, a lot of the different, and the way he broke up the chapters, I really, really enjoyed that. It was just a really solid movie all the way around. And again, all the mashup of genres in here. I mean, it's a thriller, it's a mystery, it's a heist movie, it's a revenge movie. Of course, it's an action movie. And if you're a fan of any of those genres, or a fan of Statham or Ritchie, this is a must-see. I definitely would go ahead and recommend this one as a opening weekend watch. Definitely go ahead and check this out. I'm going to close this out right here. If this is your first time, don't make it your last. I normally say this is a Podbean production because it was just a podcast. Now it's a Podbean and a YouTube production. So I am going to go ahead and post the audio of this on Podbean still. And yeah, I'm also going to be still doing new episodes over there. Obviously, all of these aren't going to be visual episodes, so definitely go ahead and check out the podcast. If you want to get all of the content, all of the movie reviews, I will still do movie reviews over there. I'm not a professional YouTuber. I still have a full-time job, so yeah, I'm not going to have time to shoot these videos all the time and do all the editing and stuff that goes into it. So I'm definitely still going to be doing movie reviews over there. And also Instagram, Facebook, I have companion pages of the same name. Definitely go like those, share those out. And I post all my links and all that stuff, also put in the description. So definitely like, share, subscribe, comment, thumbs up this, don't thumbs down, just thumb up it. Even if you don't like it, just press thumbs up anyway. But yeah, that is about it. Thank you again for tuning in for this first episode. I greatly appreciate it. And the journey begins, I guess. So yeah, I'll be back again soon with another review, definitely either here, but you're really going to want to subscribe to the podcast because I do a lot of content over there. And not just reviews either. I also do like discussions, my movie list and things over there. For example, I have most overrated movie. I did one of those. I have a whole disturbing movie series that I do. So yeah, I got a lot of different content. So definitely go check it out. And now I'm rambling on like I always do at the end of these. Thank you again for tuning in. I do appreciate it. And I will see you guys next time. Peace.